Hey, it's Brian Mudd. This is my cheat sheet for Tuesday, January 22nd. A little bit of a reality check here to start the cheat sheet today. And actually, this is part of a bigger story about our own debt issues. The one thing that really does frustrate me, I come to terms with a lot of bad policy in Washington over the years and around the world. The one thing that really frustrates me is that we just get in our own way. I believe that if people still genuinely understood economics, we'd make better decisions, or at least have our politicians make better decisions. So I always come at it from a point of thinking that it's more about ignorance than it actually is people just willfully doing really dumb things economically with policy and advocating for it. But again, maybe idealist. Regardless, here is where I think we might be able to tie together a marketing campaign. Did you know we are set to surpass the all-time world record for unemployment this year? The previous record had been in 2009. I don't need to tell you that what happened in the fall of 2008, the ripple around the world, led to the worst unemployment that we've seen to date. Well, there have been some bounce back, especially in other parts of the world. But here we are. We're set to have record unemployment again this year around the world. And straight through 2017. It's supposed to continue to get worse. That's certainly not good news. Last summer, when I got back from Italy and Europe, shared with you some of the real horror stories over there, where you have computer engineers that are now driving taxis because that's the only job they could get. I mean, it's kind of crazy in some of these places. The number one reason cited for the record unemployment that we're set to see this year? Debt. Debt. Maybe this is where marketing can play a role. If I told you that the debt problems in the United States are going to cost you your job, you might not support the politicians that are going to continue to add to it, would you? Because a lot of people that are well-intentioned, a lot of people think, oh, social programs, governmental help. Well, what if that means that you lose your job? Because we can't afford what they're doing, which means that somewhere along the way, they stop spending, which means somewhere along the way, the people that are on the receiving end of what they're spending stop getting paid, which means that taxes go higher, which means that the companies that do hire have less money to hire, which means this is a small little economic lesson here about how it all works. But maybe this is the marketing. We're going to have record debt. Or I'm sorry, we're going to have record unemployment around this world in 2013. And the number one reason? Lack of responsibility, debt by governments around the world. So every time you support somebody, and every time you support a policy that increases the debt, you're supporting people being laid off, being unemployed, and suffering economically around the world. That's my little message for today. But maybe we can change mindset. All right, let me hit some more cheat sheet typical stuff here. First, top cities for obtaining, retaining, and growing your career. We know that the Dakotas are just ridiculous in terms of low unemployment right now. But what if you want to obtain a career, grow a career, including salary over the course of time? You know what's really interesting? I've got the whole list of the top 100 that were put together coming out of 2012 into 2013. And what's really interesting, you have, and I kid you not, I gave up counting, somewhere around 20 Texas cities in the top 60. It's like a third are in Texas. It's nuts. So take a look through. One of the things that's worthy of noting, no Florida cities made the top 100. However, with housing on the comeback trail this year, I wouldn't be so surprised to see it. But if you do have young people that are, kids such that are looking for cities to grow a career, this could especially be an interesting list. But there's definitely something doing in Texas. Target has a gimmick that could end up becoming a big trend. You know, we heard that the average Super Bowl ad is now up to $3.8 million and that whole thing. Well, Target decided not to do the Super Bowl ad this year. Instead, they're doing a little mobile game. This is shameless promotion of them and their sponsors. Basically, it's a mobile app that will allow you to pass branded items like DiGiorno pizzas. You're going to pass them in the living room on this mobile app to various different people. And you can't have 3 items drop. I mean, it's really pretty silly, but the question is, will it work? And if it does work, Target could have opened up a whole new trend, which is Super Bowl mobile. Super Bowl mobile, rather than typical Super Bowl advertising. So, I'll keep an eye on this, because, again, this sticks. This is a whole new foray into Super Bowl advertising. I'll look into 2016, because maybe, just maybe, some of us need it. All right, first of all, if I were to say the front runners for 2016 would be, you would say? Probably Marco Rubio, probably Hillary Clinton, and you'd be pretty much right there. Marco Rubio right now is even money with Paul Ryan at 17.5% to be the Republican nominee for 2016. On the other side, Hillary Clinton, with about 35%, is the lead. Now, we know Joe Biden, who's already run for president twice, by the way, is interested in running again. So where does he factor into this? Well, interestingly, Andrew Cuomo, who I think is getting ready to have a Howard Dean moment any time now over this whole gun control thing in New York, he actually is higher than Joe Biden is. He is number 2 at about 22%, followed by Joe Biden in the neighborhood of about 13% in terms of who people think will win the Democratic nomination. So, in the for what it's worth category. That's the cheat sheet for today. Plenty more on the fiscal cheat sheet. Enjoy yours, and we will see you tomorrow.